loss against Salt Lake City, self-inflicted. They hope for better this time. Stars win the tip, and they start with the first possession going right to left. The Stars with the 20th best offense here so far in the G League. They've had some really bright offensive moments at times during the season, trying to just find the consistency. Bolden trying to find the consistency as an outside shooter, misses on that three-pointer. He's a guy that can definitely stretch the floor and has proven many different times. Misfires on his first three. Now the Warriors with the ball. They're the 10th best offense in the NBA G League here so far. As they start with it moving left to right, or rather right to left on your radio dial. As Pemberton drives into the lane, falls down, loses the ball. Carson Edwards has the loose ball, moves it up to the right side. Here's a back pass that goes over to Rayvonte Ricer. Hoist up a three, no good. Offensive rebound and put back Marquise Bolden. He feasted the last time these two teams played, as mentioned before. 15 points and 10 rebounds. It was much needed because that was the first game after Yoli Childs was out with the injury that he suffered in the game against OKC. The Stars had a really poor performance against the Blue and bounced back extremely well. It was a great example of mental toughness after what was a demoralizing loss. Straightaway three is up and no good from Caleb Ledoux. And the rebound comes down to Salt Lake City, Jared Wilson Frame. We mentioned that bounce back. Wilson Frame was 5 of 11 from 3 in that game as he whips a pass over to the right side. 3 on the way from Carson Edwards is good. Carson Edwards, third in the league in scoring, starts 1 for 1 with that 3. Left angle 3 is up, and it's going to be good from LJ Figueroa. 5-3 start. Wilson Frame with the ball up left side. His 5 for 11 three-point shooting performance, that being for Wilson Frame. So big because he shot so poorly the game before against OKC. Marquise Bolden, a right angle 3 is good. And Bolden certainly not shy here in the early going, and he has the Stars out to an 8-3 lead. Right in the alley is going to be Smith. And now a turnover by the Warriors coming up the other end. A pull-up 3 for Edwards. Money! And the Stars are off to a great start with an 11-3 lead. And here's so far already at 3 of 5 from distance. Here come the Warriors now trying to respond. Ledoux has a high out left. Go straight away to Mawube, now back to Ledoux. Ledoux out to the left corner. Smith throws it to the middle, spinning to the left side. Pemberton up and under is going to be bumped and fouled by Bolden. Bolden took a shot to the midsection and will need a second. This will send Pemberton to the free throw line. 1 shot for 2 points. Eli Pemberton, 81% free throw shooter on the year. This team in Santa Cruz, they've had some things they're very, very good at. This is one of the better teams this year in the basketball. They're second in assist percentage. As mentioned before, 10th offensively. But they've had their difficulties in taking care of the ball. 23rd in turnover percentage. Defensively, they've had their up and down moments. They're 23rd in the league in that area. Free throws up and good for Pemberton. And he makes it an 11-5 game. Stars in the lead. Wilson Frame comes around the screen, straightaway 3 on the way, off the handle, no good, long rebound. Is going to be grabbed by Figueroa. Go to the left side to Pemberton. Pemberton looking into the lane, searches, goes to the right side, floats it up off the glass and in. 11-7 the score. So Pemberton able to get to the line. Pemberton able to create something from short distance. 9:03 left to play here in the first quarter. 11-7 Salt Lake City. We talked about how well the Warriors share the ball. The Stars 27th in assist percentage. Here's Edwards, a straight-on 3. A quick trigger 3 that's going to bang off the back handle, no good. Long court pass goes to the left side. A 3 is on the way from Ledoux, and it's good. Well done, Caleb Ledoux. He makes it 11-10. Ledoux on the season, a 39% three-point shooter. Here comes Edwards behind the back dribble. Now throws across the court. Goes into the corner, now right angle. Wilson Frame stumbled and kicked it forward. It's stolen away by the Warriors. Ahead of the floor, Figueroa, a 2-hand jam. And the run is starting to mount there for the Warriors as they've taken the lead at 12-11. It's a 9-0 spurt. So the Stars got off to such a great start there, and now all of a sudden the wheels have wobbled a bit since then. Miles Jr. with the ball straight away, looking for a curling Wilson Frame. Can't get it. Goes to Bolden, right angle. Long shot, up, no good. And the rebound is going to be corralled by Mawube. The left side, the Warriors finding some rhythm, getting stops, getting scores, trying to keep the merry-go-round going as Mawube underneath puts up the 2-footer. He misses it, but he is fouled. 7:54 left here in the first. Foul against Wilson Frame. That'll be his first. Coming at out of the game is going to be Rayvonte Rice. Tarkus Ferguson is going to come in, and joining him is Pashawn Howard. Mawugbe, a guy who had 11 points, 16 rebounds, and 4 blocks in that game against Austin, the most recent game. Guy comes out of Azusa Pacific. That was the only offer he had. He was not even being looked at by the coaches. They were looking at one of his teammates, and then he got noticed. Didn't play basketball till he was about 14. Hits the free throw. Mawugbe, a 61% free throw shooter. He didn't play basketball until he was 14. He's really a soccer player. His parents immigrated from Ghana. And then was discovered with basketball. Before you know it, he goes there and becomes the player of the year in the Pac West. So no matter what it is for a guy like Mawugbe, he makes the most out of whatever opportunities in front of him. Deflection out of bounds, and the ball will stay with Salt Lake City. 13 on the shot clock. As coming in is Jacob Evans III. Young man 6'6" out of Cincinnati. Straight away, it's going to go to Bolden. Bolden now high out left to Edwards. Edwards jabs right, drives left, now goes to Miles Jr. in the corner. He takes a jab step, fires a corner three and hits. It's a two-pointer, had a toe on the tape. And the Stars have ended what was an 11-0 run. 14-13 the score, and a foul on Pashawn Howard as he was pushing on Kendall Smith, who was out by the timeline. Kendall Smith fell into the backcourt. They called the foul. 14-13 Santa Cruz here in the early going. Thanks so much for being with us here tonight. And don't forget to get your tickets for that game at Vivint Arena coming your way on Friday. It was a good time with Salt Lake City Stars basketball. I'll tell you more about other stuff they'll have going on. Ryan Taylor in the game for the Warriors. He has it high out right. Now goes straight away to Smith. Smith now into the high post. It goes to Evans. Now back outside, a three by Smith. It's going to clang off the rim short. The rebound comes down to Ferguson. Ferguson now to the right side. Here comes Carson Edwards. Stutter step, now drives in. Pulls up from a mid-range jumper. It's no good. Loose ball foul. And it is called against the Warriors. So far the Stars 5 of 11 from the field. The Warriors had 4 for 6. Caleb Ledoux called for his first, and that is the first team foul as well, as we're just about to get to the under 7 timeout. Miles Jr. to inbound from the right side, looking in, now gets it to Howard. Howard with the ball high out right, looks, takes a screen from Carson Edwards, takes another screen from Bolden, now goes underneath, reverse layup, scores it. Beautiful team basketball by the Stars. Great drive by Howard and a terrific finish. Nice touch. Here's a corner three, quick trigger on the way, and it's no good from Taylor. The rebound is going to come down to the Stars. Here's Ferguson. Ferguson up the court, surveys the floor, take a screen now from Bolden. Throws back to the other side, Miles. He'll rise and fire for three and hit. Extra Miles Jr., that's his second hit, and he now has 5 points so far in the game. There's a drive coming the other way, and it is up and it's good from Ledoux, and a timeout is going to be called by Nathan Peavy. 6:23 left to play here in the first quarter. We'll take it with them. The Stars 18, the Warriors 16. You're listening to NBA G League basketball right here on the G League Network. Oh. Welcome on back. Stars up 18-16 over the Warriors. They led 11-3 at one point, gave up an 11-0 run, and have now claimed a 2-point lead back. One of the guys in the game tonight, Pashawn Howard, who the last time these two teams played, he joined the Stars just hours before that game. The Stars had some injuries. They had all kinds of changes. They needed some guy who could get out on the floor and play, and Pashawn Howard made the most of it. He jumped out on the floor right away, had 15 points, 7 rebounds off the bench. And that's what the G League is all about, man. You get your shot and you make the most of it. And he had a terrific debut with this team. Here's Gerard Tarrant in the game for the Stars. Throws it back high out left to Edwards. Edwards rises, fires for three. It's an air ball, or at least it was deflected. Edwards says he was fouled. Other way, Ledoux throws wide of the target. It goes out of bounds. Pashawn Howard says, I didn't touch it, and they're saying Pashawn Howard deflected it. Howard is saying, hey, challenge it. Nathan Peavy's not going to do that, and with 6:04 left, the Warriors have the ball. It goes inbound to Taylor, who's open for three. It runs off the rim short. Offensive rebound, outlet, and it goes to Kendall Smith. Smith has it, goes away from the screen, now throws back to Mawugbe at the 15-foot mark, now outside, right side. Three on the way, Ryan Taylor hits. Taylor gives the Warriors the lead back at 19-18. Great offensive work at getting to the loose ball and then finding the open man by the Warriors. They hold the lead by 1 now. Carson Edwards, stutter steps in the lane, now goes outside, left corner, 3 on the way by Miles, no good. High rebound, knocked out of bounds, tipped off of the Warriors and to the Stars. Stars will inbound from the baseline, 14 on the shot, 5:32 left here in this first quarter. Edwards will throw outside to Gerard Tarrin. Tarrin's got a hand off now to Carson Edwards. Carson looking to drive right side, steps back, stripped by Ledoux. Great defensive play. Picked up by Evans, now back to Ledoux. Ledoux skies in with a left hand and scores. What a play by Caleb Ledoux, a 6'4" young man out of Louisiana Tech, former Conference USA sixth man. 21-18, Warriors on top of the Stars. Miles drives into the lane, tries to float it over Mawugbe, and it's blocked, collected, and up the court they go. Ledoux is bumped, rolls it up off the glass and in, and Caleb Ledoux has it dialed in. 23-18, the Warriors have a 7-0 burst here at this moment to take the lead back by 5. That is actually their biggest lead here so far of the night. Edwards in the left corner. Comes around a screen, drives into traffic. Mawugbe is there and has another block. Another great defensive play by Mawugbe. Offensive collection, clock down to 2, down to 1. Tarrin fires a 3, and it clangs off the side of the rim, no good. Mawugbe's been everywhere, and he has the rebound. Up the court, here comes Smith, around a Mawugbe screen. Drives in the lane, cups it, flips it. He's fouled, and he will shoot 1 free throw for 2 points. As Wilson Frame comes in for the Stars, Figueroa in for the Warriors. Kendall Smith was picked up by Santa Cruz in November. 86% free throw shooter. 6'3" out of Oklahoma State. Kendall Smith averaging 9.5 points per game on the season with 5 rebounds to go with 7 assists. Love versatility in this league. And he's certainly able to bring them. His 1 free throw for 2 points is up and it's short. Loose ball rebound and it's grabbed by the Warriors. It's collected by Pemberton. Around it goes now to the left angle. A 3 is on the way, and that's going to be no good. And the Stars really dodged a bullet from Kendall Smith there as he had a good look 3. Tarrin collecting the ball on the baseline. Drives the base, skips inside, rolls it off the rim, no good. Loose ball rebound is grabbed by Tarrin. He goes up with 2 hands and lays it in. Relentless Gerard Tarrin. That's a great way to describe him with how many times he's been on and off this roster throughout the course of the year. 23-20, Warriors in the lead. Driving in right side, laying it up is no good. Smith, he gets his own, lays it up again, no good. It touched every part of the rim and did everything but go in. Stars with the ball coming the other way. It's a 4-on-4. Edwards driving past Evans, skies in with the right hand, lays it off too hard, off the glass and rim, no good. And now here come the Warriors, 3-on-3 the other way. Pemberton rolls in, right side, off the glass, no good. Rebound comes to Ferguson, up the court to Edwards, 1-on-1, lays it off the glass. 3 of 8 from 3 is Santa Cruz, 4 of 11 from 3, Salt Lake City. Warriors up by 1, and in the game now is Frankie Ferrari. Great name, by the way. Left angle 3 is up and good from Eli Pemberton. It makes it 26-22 Santa Cruz. Here's a straightaway jab step drive, now turning around, fading away. Ferguson rattles it in. Well done. Tarkus Ferguson, 6'4" out of Illinois, Chicago, cuts it to a 26-24 deficit. Warriors up by 2 here. Figueroa throws straight away to Pemberton. Pemberton looking underneath now. Looks to take a screen from Figueroa. Now throws straight away. It goes to Ferrari. Ferrari looking to cross over on Tarrin. Lost it for a moment. Got it back. Goes back to Pemberton, who spins on the base on the block. Throws it over the court, and it's intercepted. Picked off Wilson Frame. 3-on-2 the other way. Left corner, Pashawn Howard. Long on the 3. Long rebound. Grabbed by Howard. Straight away, Wilson Frame. Shot fake at 3. Thought about driving. Now we'll back it out. Shot clock at 8, 7, and 6. As Howard looks deep, now rolls one underneath. It goes to Tarrin, who bullies his way in the paint and scores over Pemberton. Tarrin with some hard-earned buckets here in the early going. He has 4 points. And it's 26 all here with 2:07 left to play in this first quarter. Ferrari, guarded by Tarrin, now throws high out right to Pemberton, who starts to slice into the lane and goes up high to finish. Eli Pemberton now with 9 points so far in this game, 3 of 4 from the field. Has a couple of rebounds to go with it. 28-26 Warriors. Wilson Frame throws high out right to Pashawn Howard. He'll throw back across the court. Wilson Frame will hoist a left angle three. It was online but short. Loose ball rebound is going to be grabbed by Pemberton. Long pass ahead to wide open Jacob Evans, who will lay it in. And it's 30-26. Breakdown and transition defense for Salt Lake City, and an easy one for the Warriors. 1:25 left here in the first. 30-26 Santa Cruz. Sean Howard with the ball high out left between the legs, dribbles back and forth, does it again, now crosses over left, drives into Figueroa, leans in with the right hand and scores. Nifty move for Sean Howard. And so for Howard on the night, his second bucket underneath, and a reverse layup is up and good from Jacob Evans. Jacob Evans, who was the 28th pick from the Warriors in 2018, has 66 games of NBA experience, 64 of them with the Warriors. 32-28 Santa Cruz, 50 seconds left here in this first quarter. Wilson Frame drives in left angle, throws across the court to Howard. He lost it, now got it back, now gets it to Wilson Frame. He'll lay it up and in. Howard wanted a foul call, didn't get it. Either way, the Stars get the bucket. It's 32-30. Wilson Frame on the board tonight. 40 seconds left here in this first quarter. A 2-for-1 opportunity. Ferrari trying to get it, throws it out into the left corner. A three is on the way from Ryan Taylor, and it's good. Ryan Taylor out of Northwestern. He was drafted in the first round by the Lakeland Magic in 2019. Gives his team a 5-point lead. 28 seconds, and it's Wilson Frame losing it on the drive. Ferrari has it, 4-on-1, ahead of the court. Pemberton hands it off, and an easy lay-in for LJ Figueroa. 37-30 to score. And they'll fix the clock here for a moment with the Warriors up by 7. That's their biggest lead here so far of the night. They have 13 fast break points here in this first quarter. 18 points in the paint, 13 fast break points, and 4 points from the free throw line. And a foul is going to be called with 16.7 seconds left here in this first quarter, as Revonte Rice was moving up the left side. That is the first team foul in the 2-minute period. So both teams now from this point on will be shooting on any defensive or loose ball foul from this point on. 37-30 Santa Cruz. 2 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock, and we have another clock issue, so they'll reset that. The shot clock was at 14, the game clock was at 16.7. So they'll have the discussion on exactly where it should be as they reset all of that. Always one of those that the officials in the biggest way, and so they're saying in this situation the shot clock should be turned off. So with 15.8, they did not reset it back to 16.7. Stars with the ball. Revonte Rice with the ball out left side. Guarded by Ferrari, and the whistle blows. And a defensive 3-second call. The Stars are going to get a free throw out of this. So a team technical foul that will send the Stars to the free throw line. And it's going to be Wilson Frame shooting that free throw. Wilson Frame out of Pittsburgh. A guy who's continually been one of the better leaders you could ever ask a player to be for a team that's been through so much this year, that being the Stars. Constant professional, constantly comes in, does his job the right way no matter what. If he's shooting poorly, he still makes the right basketball play. If he's shooting well, he makes the right basketball play. He just has great poise and stays within the system all the time and stays within himself. And I think what happened in that OKC game here and then the next night against the Warriors was a great example of that. Revonte Rice turns, fades away, baseline 15-footer. It's good. Nice play, Revonte Rice. 3.8 to go. Inbounded quickly. Here come the Warriors. Pemberton with a clock. Fast break points. They had 18 points in the paint. At the 5 of 10 from 3, all of them catch and shoot. They had some great looks to go with that as well. None of them off the bounce. And that makes a big, big difference. The Stars defensively, they rank 27th in that area, trying to be better at keeping teams out of some sort of a rhythm. Left corner 3 is up and good from LJ Figueroa. That's now 6 of 11 from 3, and you guessed it, it was a catch and shoot 3. 40-33, Santa Cruz is on top of Salt Lake City. Revonte Rice drives left side of the lane, puts it on the rim, no good. They've missed a couple of nice, easy looks here so far tonight. Going the other way, a 5-on-4. Figueroa catch and shoot 3. It swirls out. Good handoff from Ferrari, but he didn't get it to go down. Revonte Rice on the other end throws it back to Miles. Here's Wilson Frame, catch and shoot 3. Quick on the way, and it rattles right off the rim. no good. Ferrari, long court pass. Underneath is Figueroa, catch and layup. It's good. Once again, points in the paint. Another opportunity in transition. More good looks from the Warriors, and they have their biggest lead now of 9. It's 42-33. 10:57 left here in the second. Rayvonte Rice comes around the Bolden screen, gets to the dotted line, throws an interception. It's picked off by Pemberton. Figueroa the other way, sets his feet, thought about a three, throws across the river, and it's going to go to Ledoux. Now drives into the paint, goes underneath for Mawube, lost it, got it back. Ferrari, catch and shoot left angle three, no good. And the rebound is eventually tapped over to Ferguson. Ferguson will bring it up the court between the legs, dribble, spins around at the elbow, now throws it back for Bolden. Has the look for three, but instead rotates to the top and goes to Miles high out left. Miles takes a screen from Bolden. Now Miles steps back, a long two's no good. Bolden gets an unbelievable offensive board, and he's fouled. He had no business getting that ball. That is not a 50-50 ball. That is like a 25-75 ball. And he was able to go up there and keep it alive and grab an O board and earn the trip to the free throw line. Marquise Bolden, as we talked about, and as you take a look at this replay, it was like a 2-on-1, kind of a 3-on-1 type situation, and he's the guy who came down with it, using his length very well. One free throw for 2 points. Young man out of Duke misses on the free throw. But Bolden has continued to evolve this year, showing the versatility in his game, but showing the toughness and the unselfishness. His screen game has really improved. His commitment to screening so often on a play is huge. Reverse layup and a beautiful move by Pemberton, and he has 11 first half points. He's 4 of 5 from the field. Here is Wilson Frame with the Stars now down by 11 as the Warriors continue to extend here. Wilson Frame throws straight away to Bolden. Now he'll hand off to Miles. Miles comes around the screen to Bolden, floats, throws it back now to Wilson Frame, lost the handle for a bit. Goes across now again for Miles. He'll step and put up a contested three. Straight away, it's good. Dexter Miles Jr. with that three makes it a 44-36 game. And for Miles, he has 8 points, 2 of 2 from distance. Ferrari comes around the screen, stops at the free throw line, bounce pass underneath. Easy open layup is Pemberton, and the pride of Hofstra has 13. 46-36 the score. Warriors with a 10-point lead. Wilson Frame around the screen to Bolden, now goes straight away to Miles. Miles on the block, it goes to Bolden, spins towards the glass, puts it up off the back of the rim, no good. The rebound is going to come down to Ledoux. Comes around a screen of Mawube, throws it outside, high left, Figueroa, quick three, off the front rim, no good. The rebound is grabbed by Miles, and somebody is down there for the Warriors. It's a 5-on-4. It's like a power play here. Rice on the block, forces it up, he's fouled, he'll shoot. And on this play, it might have been Pemberton who was down and was slow to get up. And I thought it was a 5-on-4, but I think Miles stayed down there. So instead it was more of a 4-on-4. The foul is called on Ferrari. And it's his second. And that's the second Warriors foul too. Taylor and Smith are coming in for the Warriors. Rayvonte Rice at the free throw line. Rayvonte Rice, a young man. The state of Illinois wanted to go play for Illinois. He actually grew up watching Darren Williams, D. Brown, Luther Head, and that awesome Illinois team. He misses the free throw. But he wanted to play for Illinois after watching those guys. He was kind of a Jazz fan, too, because those guys played for the Jazz. I mean, D. Brown and Darren Williams. Three on the way and good from Ledoux. And the hot outside shooting continues for the Warriors. They're 7 of 15 from distance, 47%. And they're getting great looks time after time after time. Wilson Frame settles into a long two. It's short off the rim. Rebound Mawube. He gives it to Ledoux. Stars get back. Harassing Ledoux out of the timeline was Rice, but Ledoux now gets to the free throw line. It goes to Figueroa. Now out left side, Smith. Smith driving hard on Dexter Miles, throws it back outside, and a foul is going to be called. It's an offensive foul. And it's on Smith on that drive. It's Kendall Smith with his first foul. Pashawn Howard comes back in for the Stars with Carson Edwards. I was talking about Rayvonte Rice as he took that charge. Rayvonte Rice was a guy that was so passionate about playing at Illinois and got to do it. Many times, little kids, you grow up, you have a dream of playing somewhere, being in an exact situation. There's a lot of variables there. Well, he actually got to live that dream. It says he cherished every single minute of that. And of those people that's very grateful of whatever his situation happens to be, and he's always been showing a lot of gratitude being a part of this Stars team. Rashawn Howard, step back three on the way, good. Rashawn Howard, who had 15.7 rebounds off the bench. And we talked about him joining the Stars just hours before that game against Santa Cruz. That was the last time they played. It was his first game with the Stars, and he was awesome. Straight away, here is Smith looking for the screen to Mawugbe, gives it to him at the dotted line. Mawugbe throws outside. Here's a right angle three on the way, and good from Ryan Taylor. Taylor now with 9 points, 3 of 5 from the field, and all shots have been three-point looks. Here's a straightaway three on the way and short from Bolden. The lead is 13 for the Warriors. That's their biggest of the game. The Stars now shooting 35% from three. High out left, Ledoux tries to get a step on Taryn, can't. Now goes to the left side. He's cut off by Taryn again. Mawugbe gives it back to Smith. Smith into the paint, leans forward. High layup off the glass and in at Vivint Arena. And then the final Stars home game of the season. And the final regular season game will be right here at Bruin Arena as the Stars are going to host the Stockton Kings. Miles in the paint is fouled. Count it and one. Mawugbe matched him up right there but was called for the foul. And Miles was able to get the bucket and one. So for Miles now, that's 10 points. He's played with a lot of aggression. He's been able to get into the paint a few times. Play with force. 54-41. The Stars have dug a bit of a hole here as it was a 17-6 run before that bucket there. And the free throw's up and good. But before all of that, it was a 17-6 run to start the quarter for the Warriors. They carried over great momentum from the end of the first and moved it out to what was a 15-point lead. High out left, catch and shoot three. Good look, and he hits it. Kendall Smith. My goodness, they have made it a 15-point lead again. And these good look threes just keep going down. They're 9 of 17 from three. In this league, you give up that many good looks, they're going to hit a number of them. The Stars have struggled guarding the three here so far tonight. Edwards with the ball high out left. It's guarded by Taylor. Throws across the court to Taryn. Now high out right. A three is on the way and missed from Miles. Rebound is going to be grabbed by Evans. Up the right side, Ledoux. Ledoux throws it up the sideline. It's picked off now by Edwards. Carson Edwards pushes it the other way. It's a 3-on-3. Edwards skies in right side. Rattles it around the rim and in. Carson Edwards now with 10 points on 4 of 10 shooting. He has 3 assists to go with it. The Stars have made it a 57-44 game. Evans with the ball high out right. Guarded by Edwards. Throws it straight away to Smith. Out to the left corner it goes as Taylor throws back outside to Smith again. Smith guarded by Miles. Take a screen from Mawugbe. Drives the alley. Throws out right side. Good look. Ledoux. Money. Caleb Ledoux hits that as the 10th three-pointer for the Warriors on the night. They lead by 16. 5:18 left second quarter. Miles with the ball, throws back out. Edwards straight away three, and that's going to miss to the left side off the glass. Rebound is going to be grabbed by Mawugbe. He gets it over to Ledoux. Ledoux off to the block. It goes to Mawugbe. Back out left to Ledoux. Into the high post. It goes to Evans, who's going to now give to Smith. Another good look three, and it clangs out. They got lucky there. The Warriors have had just way too many good look threes, and the Stars with too many breakdowns defensively to give those. And a great steal here as it's picked off by Taylor. Ahead of the court it goes to Ledoux, and he's fouled on his way up. So when the Stars seem to take a step forward, it's a couple of steps back. And when the Warriors have it dialed in with some of those stops, they turn them into great opportunities the other way. The Warriors so far with 15 fast break points. They have 26 points in the paint. And they're shooting 10 of 19 from three. Those are areas you really like to feast. The paint, good look threes, and getting out in transition. You can't do some of those things unless you play tough defense, and they've had some great tough defensive moments where they've earned some great offensive opportunities. The Stars, on the other hand, have had their struggles and have now watched that deficit grow to 16 with Ledoux at the free throw line. One shot for 2 points. Ledoux, the former sixth man of the year in the Conference USA, misses the free throw. And for Ledoux on the game, he does have 15 already. 6 of 7 from the field. Ledoux deflecting another ball, and this one out of bounds. It'll stay with the Stars. Ledoux's going to come out of the game for Pemberton. And I'll tell you what, that bench should be very happy with how hard he has played. I mean, you talk about getting after it. Caleb Ledoux has done that. Earning every minute he's had out there on the floor. We talked about that 15 points, 3 of 4 from 3. Really set the tone early for this Warrior team, too. Edwards drives in left side, gives it now to Miles. Miles tries a reverse layup. That's no good. Rebound is going to be grabbed by the Warriors. Ahead of the court quickly. Smith rises, and he's blocked, but fouled by Wilson Frame. So Kendall Smith will go to the line. 1 free throw for 2 points. Smith is an 86% free throw shooter. Kendall Smith has done a nice job igniting some offense. He has 5 points, but he also has 5 assists. 2 of 7 from the field. A man out of Oklahoma State. 1 free throw for 2 points. And his free throw is up and good. 3 of 5 from the stripe now are the Warriors, and they're starting to increase that lead on the rebounds at 24-16. The Stars, so far in this one, believe it or not, they only have 4 turnovers, and they almost had a 5th as they nearly had a backcourt violation. Now a pass is going to be a loose ball on the ground. They're going to call a kick. And I think the kick was by Santa Cruz. And the shot clock will go to 14. 4:10 left here in the second quarter. Stars down by 18. Rayvonte Rice to inbound. Miles Jr. to sit down. Biggest lead of the night so far for the Warriors. They have it now, 62-44. Edwards driving on Pemberton, goes to the paint, splits defenders, puts it off the glass and rim, no good. Rebound Taryn, straight away to Rice, goes back to Wilson Frame, back to Rice for 3. That swirls out. Taryn grabs the rebound, left corner, Edwards. Shot fake a 3, step in for 2, hits it. 62-46, Carson Edwards now with 12 points. Stars have had big comebacks or games where they've had to come back from huge deficits. They've done it before. The work is cut out for him to do it again. Here's a pass into the paint, bodying up and putting it up off the rim and in is Jacob Evans. 64-46. Evans in this now with Smith with 6 assists to go with this, by the way. And Evans had a nice night, a dunk for Gerard Taryn. 2-hand jam there, and it's well. And quietly in this game, Smith has 6 assists. Ferrari has 6 assists off the bench in just 7 minutes. It's another guy who's been able to contribute. So sharing the basketball very well and playing very connected. The Warriors here. Figueroa has the ball in the post, throws it outside. As it goes to Taylor. Taylor now drives inside, floats it up off the front of the rim. He's fouled. He'll have 1 free throw for 2 points. They've been able to get to the line. They've been able to get to the paint. They've been able to get good look threes. And the Stars have just had a tough time handling. 3:06 left here in the second quarter. Ryan Taylor goes to the free throw line. He had 12 points and 3 rebounds in that game against the Stars on the 20th. 86% free throw shooter. And his 1 free throw is up and good. 4 of 6 from the stripe, the Warriors. And Taylor now with 11 points. It's the first bucket that he's made that wasn't a 3-point make. Rice with the ball straight away. Take a screen now from Bolden. Drives into the right side, bumps into Figueroa, puts it off the glass and rim, no good. Loose ball, rebound, 5-4. Bolden's got it. Bolden, a China shot, turns with the left hand and scores. Man, it feels like when he's on the floor, if the ball's coming off the rim and it's loose, it's like he's going to get it every time. He just has a knack for that. 50 points now on the board for the Stars, but they still trail by 16. Spinning in the paint, Figueroa fouled, and he rattles it in. 68-50 and 1 for LJ Figueroa. 14 points for Figueroa. He is now 6 of 8 from the field. Pemberton has 3 assists. Figueroa had 25 points against Austin in their last game. He's a guy that's been out there playing with outstanding rhythm and great feel. And so certainly some of this has been breakdowns defensively from the start. It's been a unique mix. The breakdown defensively of Salt Lake City. The Warriors hitting shots, but the Warriors also doing a great job of moving the ball so well to get those shots. He misses the free throw for the N1. And the score is now at 68-50. Wilson Frame around a Bolden screen. Now outside Edwards launches a 3. It's short off the rim. Edwards chases his rebound to the corner, grabs it, fires it quickly, misses again. And so for Carson Edwards now, he is 2 of 8, or rather 2 of 7 from 3. Here's Ferrari now checked back into the game. Ferrari gets to the block, bounce pass, LJ Figueroa, fouled, he'll go to the line. One free throw for 2 points with 2:04 left here in the second. And now does also put the Stars over the foul limit. Rashawn Howard is going to check back in for Salt Lake City as he'll replace Rayvonte Rice. So far in this third quarter, the Stars 0 of 6 from 3 with catch and shoot threes. And the Warriors 5 of 8 from 3 in the quarter. Big difference. Free throws good, and the Warriors have a 20-point lead and a 70-point half with still 2 minutes left to play in the first half of this game. Edwards drives into the lane, goes into Mawugbe, has it blocked, but he is fouled. And they're going to call this on Mawugbe. Mawugbe sideline. And it'll be Warriors ball. 23 on the shot clock, and away they go. Ferrari with the ball on the left side. Ferrari, as we talked about, great production off the bench. 7 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds. Here's an alley-oop, and Mawugbe skies up to grab it down. The assist to Pemberton, it's 72-50, and the Warriors are rolling here in this first half. 1:30 left to play in the second quarter. Here's Wilson Frame with the ball left side. He's back to Pashawn Howard. Pashawn Howard tries to drive into Pemberton, steps back, now bounces into Bolden. Guarded by Mawugbe, swings to the left side, puts it up off the glass, left hand no good. The putback is no good. Mawugbe, the loose ball rebound. He outlets, but it's stolen by Wilson Frame. Alley-oop goes to Bolden, who was going up. About the flagrant foul, yes, it's a flagrant foul. They're shooting 1 free throw for 2 points. I'm confused on what the argument is here in this moment, but they've inbounded and they're back underway. Carson Edwards looking straight away, bump from behind, goes high out left, and it's Wilson Frame for 3, and it's good. A 5-point play. And the Stars have cut the lead to 17. 1 minute left to play. Here in the second quarter, a steal now. Pashawn Howard goes up against Ferrari, lays it up right hand, no good. A putback jam is there by Tarkus Ferguson. It's a 15-point game. It's a quick 7-0 spurt. Boy, the Stars really needed that with the way this second quarter is gone. They could try to finish this thing out really well. Pemberton drives hard right side, bumps into a defender, and a foul is going to be called on Howard, and Howard doesn't like it. Howard thought that was an offensive foul. And so this will be the second foul on Howard. Looking at the replay. Now Pemberton crashes into him, shoves off a bit, and they call the blocking foul on Howard. So at the line, Pemberton 1 free throw for 2 points. Pemberton 5 of 6 from the field. He has 13 points tonight with 4 rebounds and 4 assists. Earlier, I'm wondering if Coach Peavy got caught with the mindset of thinking it's 2 shots in the ball. Like that is a normal thing, even in as many G League games as I've done, right? Corner 3 is on the way, and it's going to clang out from Ferguson. The offensive rebound to the Stars. Wilson Frame, high out right, gets by Pemberton, gets into the lane, floats it up right hand and scores. Beautiful move. Jared Wilson Frame, 74-59. High out left Pemberton. Stars are down 22. They have now cut it down to 15. Trying to get a stop here to close out the first half. Smith with the ball, with the clock down to 7, down to 6, down to 5. Throws out right side. Ledoux shot fake, steps to the right. 3-pointer, hits it. What a way to cap off the first half for the Warriors. 11 of 20 from 3. Wilson Frame will launch from and see a concert or to be able to see great basketball with the Utah Jazz and with the Salt Lake City Stars. Warriors start with the ball, moving left to right on your radio dial. Mawugbe with the ball, high out right. He's guarded by Bolden, now goes into that right corner. Figueroa with 1 dribble, looking, throws outside to Ledoux. Being harassed by Miles, now goes high out left. Pemberton with a crossover. Cut off, fades from the baseline, barely grazes the iron. The rebound is going to be grabbed by Rice. Rice now out to Wilson Frame, into the left angle. 3 on the way by Miles, and it's off the handle. Long rebound grabbed by Pemberton. He'll push it up the court. Pemberton coming along the left side. Takes a screen from Mawugbe. Pemberton stops at the top of the baby arc, now throws high out left side, and a right side driving in easy and laying it up and in is Ledoux, but a foul away from the basket, and it's on Mawugbe. So Mawugbe called for the foul here. That's his second foul so far of the game. Stars definitely playing with some more toughness and force here defensively. Carson Edwards was a little shaken up after that defensive possession. Hopefully he's going to be okay. Edwards taking the screen, no, goes away from the screen from Bolden. Behind the back pass, straight away. Bolden a 3, and it's an air ball. As it grazes the bottom of the net and goes out of bounds, it'll go back to the Warriors of Santa Cruz. Smith with the ball, bringing it up the court. He had 7 points to go with 7 assists in that first half. Tries to pass to the middle. It's deflected by the Stars, but it's eventually collected, and then a corner three is on the way, and overshooting everything is Jacob Evans. Here come the Stars the other way. Floating it in the middle is Rice. He runs it off the rim. No good. Tap back up and in by Marquise Bolden. So Bolden hits that to make it 77-61 in the left corner. Ledoux now throws it back to the left corner. Figueroa. A three is going to be short, and the rebound down to Wilson Frame. Wilson Frame bringing it up the court now. He's being harassed by Figueroa. Throws out left side. Miles with a step. Gets inside to the paint. Whips a pass across the court to Rice. Now straight away to Wilson Frame. Back to Miles. High out left. Miles throws across the court now to Rice. A three. It's going to clang off the rim. No good. And the Stars are now 7 of 28 from three so far tonight in this game. Floater into the paint, wide open is Mawugbe, a two-hand jam, a breakdown defensively from the Stars, and the lead is now at 79-61. Mawugbe was 6 points but has 9 rebounds for Ledoux. That is his second assist. Edwards take a screen from Bolden, straight away three off the back rim and in. Carson Edwards now with 15 points here so far in the game to go with his 4 assists. 79-64. Quickly the other way. Pemberton underneath the hoop. Throws it outside. A three on the way from Ledoux. It runs off the rim. No good. Rebound is down to Wilson Frame. And up the court they go. Edwards slicing through defenders. Goes up against Mawugbe. He's fouled. But he does earn a trip to the free throw line. Missing the layup. Contested very heavily by the Warriors defensively. So Mawugbe called for the foul. That's his third. And Edwards did just such a great job to create that opportunity. Carson Edwards with 15 points so far. He was fabulous in the game against Santa Cruz, that win the last time the two teams played. He had 27 points to go with 4 steals. Helping the Stars to that win, 116-94. He was vital in the run at the end of the second quarter and into the third that helped the Stars extend out and take off for that win. He makes the free throw. The Stars have cut the lead, which is 1.22. It's down to 13. Smith with the ball out by the volleyball line. Looking to take a screen, cut off, now throws underneath for Mawugbe, who catches and scores. Great pass by Pemberton, or by Smith. And it's now 81-66. Mawugbe, 8 points. That is the 8th assist for Smith now. Wilson Frame now goes high out right to Edwards. Take a screen from Bolden. Hoists up another three, and it's short off the rim. Long rebound. Bolden was getting back defensively. It went to the spot he vacated. Coming up the court is going to be Pemberton. He's wrapped up. It's a jump ball. Wilson Frame and Pemberton. Pemberton with 6 rebounds, 4 assists to go with his 15 points. 20 seconds left here in this third quarter, or on the shot clock, that is. 8:52 left in the third. They get into that free throw circle. He's next to the bucket that the Stars are defending. Wilson Frame against Pemberton. The ball's tapped, and it ends up going to Miles of the Stars. Stars with the ball. Up the left side, Rice. Rice straight away to Bolden. Take a dribble, step into a straight-on three, and that's short again. Not as short as the last one. He airballed it last time. He misses this one off the front rim. So for Bolden, just 1 of 6 from 3, although he can be a good threat from the outside. Into the right corner, Smith. Smith holding, looking for the screen from Mawugbe. Now goes to Mawugbe, who slips, and the ball is stripped and stolen away. Great defense by Miles. Miles has it now, 8:20 left to go here in the third. Throws left side to Bolden. Bolden back over to Miles. Takes a screen from Bolden. Bolden flares to the hoop, now sets another screen, and Miles floats one in the lane and scores it. Off the back rim, up and in. For Daxter Miles, 13 points, 5 of 11 from the field. Loose ball in the paint, and a loose ball foul is going to be called. And it's against the Warriors. This is going to be called on Jacob Evans. When the officials first called the foul, they said loose ball and pointed down, meaning that it was going to stay there, then pointed the other direction. May have pointed to the location that it took place. But usually that means that we would be staying at the same spot on the same side of the floor. So the ball will go to the Stars. 8 minutes left here in the third. They're down by 13 as they've climbed back a little bit here in this third. Edwards with a step defensively, or offensively, gets inside and floats and fades from about. He has 19 points. And his free throw is up and good. So Carson now with 20. third leading scorer in the G League. 10 games with 30 or more points. That is now a 12-4 Stars run here in this third quarter, and the lead is down to 10. We've seen the Stars a number of times dig some holes, come all the way back. Sometimes it's led to a win, sometimes a close loss, but they've showed some great toughness several times this season, and a kickball is going to be called on Bashan Howard, so it'll move the clock to 14, and with 7:40 left here in the third, the Warriors to inbound. They had some great offensive rhythm there in that first half, and they've had a tough time finding some of that rhythm here in the second half. A steal by Rayvonte Rice, and then a foul on Mawugbe. That's going to be his fourth. Well, the Stars have done a great job creating some takeaways here, and the Warriors, 23rd in the G League with taking care of the ball. 12 turnover percentage. That's kind of been a problem for them this season. And now that is their 12th turnover so far of the night. And they already have 5 in this third quarter. Wilson Frame, right angle jumper, up and no good. And the rebound is going to be grabbed by the Warriors. 10-point game, 7:23 left here in the third. Evans from the volleyball line. Take a screen from Figueroa. Drive hard right side, and it's blocked and knocked out of bounds on the Stars. 13 on the shot, 7:15 left here in the third. Now inbound from the baseline is Smith. Is set to inbound. Figueroa deep into the paint, will come out, set a screen. Coming off of it is Evans. Now the pass goes to Figueroa on the block. He turns, spins, puts in the 5-footer. Great work by Figueroa. Doing some tough work tonight. He has 18 points, 7 of 10 from the field. Wilson Frame with the ball and his team down by 12. Guarded by Ledoux. Take a screen from Tarrant on the left side. Throws straight away for Edwards. Edwards going up against Evans. Runs alongside the left side of the lane. No good. Rebound. Put back is up and in by Gerard Tarrant. Lead back down to 10 at 83-73. Ledoux straight away. A good look. Long two. A toe on the tape two is up and good from Jacob Evans. And it's 85-73. 6:36 left here, third quarter. Back and forth here for these last few moments as the lead is buoyed from 10 to 12 and back down to 10. Edwards, straightaway jumper, continues that trend, although this is a 3, and it makes it 85-76. So a 9-point game now. 6:20 left here in the third. Carson Edwards with 23 points, 4 of 10 from 3. Smith with the ball straight away. Take a screen from Figueroa, now throw it back to Figueroa. Dotted line, turns, passes, and rumbling in the lane is Jacob Evans. Puts it off the glass and rim, no good. Tarrant with the ball now at midcourt. Goes to Wilson Frame, he throws across the court to Edwards. Catch and shoot 3. It clangs out. Just missed. 85-76, Warriors in the lead and with the ball. Led by as many as 22 tonight. Driving into the left side of the lane is going to be Evans. He passes back out. It's stolen away by Edwards. Edwards with a fancy move in the lane. He's bumped. He's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line for 1 shot, 2 points. And the Warriors bench didn't like the call. Taking a look at the replay. Yeah, it appeared that Smith had all ball on that one. That could have been a jump ball call for sure. But they've already used their challenge, and they were successful at that, but they've already used it. Miles coming in. And so is Tarkus Ferguson. Carson Edwards at the free throw line. He's 2 for 2 so far tonight. An excellent free throw shooter. The Jerry West Award winner when he was there at Purdue hits the free throw, and he's been muscling this team back from a massive deficit as the lead is now down to 7. They're down 18 at the half. A defensive 3-second call and a free throw now for the Warriors. And over here, Nathan Peavy arguing the call. But it's going to stand. So it'll be Ryan Taylor at the free throw line. Ryan Taylor, 86% from the free throw line. Taylor hits the 1-point free throw. Many times in the G League, every free throw can be worth 1, 2, or 3. Every trip to the line is 1 free throw no matter what until the final 2 minutes of the game when all free throws are shot. 86-78, Warriors in the lead. Set to inbound with Smith. Figueroa passes, or fakes the pass, drives into the alley, lost it on his way up and couldn't finish. Coming the other way, Howard splits defenders, rumbles in the lane and scores it. Pashan Howard cuts the lead to 6. It's a 22-9 run And the Stars have looked like a completely different team here in this third quarter. Smith with the ball high out right. Out it goes left corner. Ferguson tried to drive on Tarrant. Bumping into it. Cut off. Throws way back outside to Evans at the timeline. 6, 5, and 4 the shot clock. Smith the left angle three at Rainbows. It's short. Loose ball rebound. Chased down by Figueroa. Great O-board. Figueroa now gets it high out right. It goes to Pemberton. Pemberton cut off. Now straight away. Figueroa. Long three. And it's off the left side of the rim. No good. Rebound Gerard Tarrant. 86-80. The Stars have given up just 9 points in this third quarter after having a really rough first half on the defensive side. Edwards driving left on Pemberton. Goes underneath him, lays it up off the rim and in. Carson Edwards now with 27 points. He's cut the lead to 4. In the lane is Pemberton. A jump ball is going to be called, falling to the ground. It's going to be Miles, and he was hanging onto the ball a little bit long. The officials come in to separate them. 4:19 left here in the third. This has been an entirely different second half. If you were to just tune in for the past few minutes, you'd have a hard time believing that the Warriors at one time were up by 22. And at the half, they had shot 55% from three. The jump ball goes up. It's won by the Stars. Everything has been going their way here in the third. Miles with the ball out by the volleyball line. We have an injured official. One of the officials is injured and walking back towards the baseline. She may have been hit in the head on that last play. Wilson Frame has the ball out at the timeline. Wilson Frame between the legs dribble. Looking, takes a screen from Tarrant. Bounce pass off to the right angle. Long three on the way by Ferguson. It's off the heel, no good. Rebound is going to be chased down beautifully by Ferrari. He speeds it up the court, goes to the right side. They have two officials working here at this moment. A fading floater is going to be good from Figueroa. The game will be officiated with just 2 referees, and we're hoping that Danica is okay. Stars with the ball down by 6. 24-11 is what their difference has been so far in favor of them here in this third quarter. They were down by 22. Wilson Frame showing the body language that this possession may be broken as he's frustrated on what's going on away from him. Here's a loose ball out to Miles. Miles with 3, with 2, with 1. He fires a 3 and he just misses. Rebound by Ferrari. Ferrari brings it up the court, yet to score, but does have 7 assists to go with 3 rebounds. And Ferrari called for a travel. So the Stars will take over. And turnovers starting to become a bit of an issue here for the Warriors, as they now have 8 in this third quarter alone. The Stars with 25 points off of turnovers. It has been a tough night in that area for the Warriors. Driving down the middle, Howard scoots it up underneath everybody and scores. 88-84. And an interception on a cross-court pass by Miles. A 1-on-2. He tries to split defenders. Does. Puts it off the glass and can't convert. The rebound is going to be grabbed by Evans. Up the court left side. Taylor gets into the paint. Kicks it out to Figueroa. It goes to Ferrari. Ferrari is harassed. He's bumped and fouled by Miles. Miles owns it. And the foul is called on him. For the Stars, that's their first foul of this third quarter. The Warriors couldn't miss from 3 in the first half. Not only have they yet to hit a 3 in this third quarter, they've only been able to get 5 of them up. Like, the Stars haven't just done a nice job of creating misses from 3. They've been able to contest so well that they haven't been able to get good enough look 3s. Here's a good look 3 from Evans, and it's going to be off. The rebound is slapped out, volleyballed by Pemberton, and it's collected by the Warriors. And a loose ball or a pass to the left side is going to be knocked out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Warriors. 9 on the shot clock. 2:26 left here in the third. The Stars have turned up the intensity defensively. There's no doubt about that. That has not just been a third quarter of missed shots for the Warriors, who've only scored 11 points in this third quarter after scoring 77 points in the first half. Ferrari, catch and shoot 3. It's long, and the rebound is down to Miles. And for the Warriors, they are now 0 of 7 from 3 in this third quarter. 2:13 left here in the third. Wilson Frame out by the center circle, guarded by Pemberton. Goes out to the left corner. Miles drives the baseline, stops, throws across the river to Howard. Now straight away to Tarkus Ferguson. Back out to the right side, Howard. Jab steps, now hoists up a corner 3, and it's good! Hassan Howard has cut it to a 1-point game with 1:50 left to play here in this third quarter. Just an amazing turnaround. Pemberton driving hard against Miles. They call a foul. Miles thought he poked it away. So the foul is going to be called on Miles. That will be the first in the last 2 minutes. So that was the foul to give. Both teams now in the penalty. Bolden coming back in for the Stars. Ledoux back in for the Warriors. He'll replace Pemberton. Devontae Rice back in for the Stars as Miles is going to go sit down. Ferrari from the sideline. Set to throw it in. Goes straight away to Figueroa, now back to Ferrari. Ferrari has orchestrated the offense well. Goes to the right side. It goes to Ledoux. A step back baseline jumper. No good. Loose ball. Rebound foul. And this is on the Stars. Oh no, it's going to be on the Warriors. Once again, the direction that the official pointed made me believe that it was staying here. Instead, she was pointing at Figueroa. And Figueroa thought for sure that foul was on Ferguson. And so Figueroa pleading his case, but what a big break for the Stars. They're going to get a free throw for 2 points. Everybody's body language showed that they thought that foul was on Ferguson. You know, Ferguson, you just go to the line and know what to do with it. Young man out of Illinois, Chicago. So far tonight, Ferguson with 4 points to go with 5 rebounds and 4 assists. His free throw clangs out. The Stars were inches from taking the lead back for the first time in a long time. Ferrari crossing over on Rice. He's cut off. Now comes all the way back out, hands off Figueroa. Rice harasses him, and now it's an intercepted pass by Bolden. Ahead it goes to Ferguson. Ferguson circles out, gives it back to Tarrant. Tarrant an alley-oop for Bolden. He taps it on the rim and scores it. The Stars have come back from 22 down to take the lead. And now an official's down on the ground again. Jeff Wooten falls to the ground, but he's okay. Ledoux with the ball left side. It goes straight away to Ferrari. Ferrari driving hard on Rice. Kicks it back outside. Driving hard now. This time is going to be Taylor. He fades. It's blocked away. Here come the Stars the other way. It's Ferguson. Ferguson flares off to the right side. Out it goes to Wilson Frame. A run of 31-11. Wilson Frame makes it 34-11. He bangs home a straightaway 3, and the Stars lead it 92-88. The wheels have just wobbled all throughout this third quarter from the Warriors. Evans goes right side, Ledoux. Tries to drive, cut off Rice. Tries to drive, cut off Rice. Gets into the paint, floats it up. He is fouled. That was a great contest by Rice and great competitive drive there from Ledoux. Just two competitors going at it. They give each other, you know, kind of a low 5 there. No, it's just two good, hard-nosed players getting after it. You love to see what you're seeing out here tonight. Last time the Stars had the lead was at the 3:30 mark in the first quarter. That was 22-21. They got down by 22. They've come all the way back to take the lead. The free throw's no good from Ledoux. And the lead stays at 4 for the Stars. They can play for the last shot here of this third quarter in what has been an unbelievably dominant third quarter. Game clock is down to 10, 9, and 8. Wilson Frame a screen from Ferguson. Now flares out high right side. Clock down to 6, down to 5, down to 4. A screen from Bolden. Now he throws it off right side. Open. Tarrant a 3, and it's just long. Has flipped inside out. The Stars up 92-88 over the Santa Cruz Warriors in what was a rough third quarter for Santa Cruz. The Stars with the ball to start this fourth quarter with that 4-point lead. Trailed by as many as 22. Bolden handing off to Ferguson. He'll get it and hoist up a 3. It's going to be off left. That was the 40th three-point attempt by the Stars here so far in this game. Here's a right corner 3 on the other end. That's going to be up, and it is no good from Ryan Taylor. And the Warriors have now missed their last 8 three-point attempts after hitting 11 of their first 20. Wilson Frame left angle 3, no good. And the long rebound is grabbed by Ferrari. Straightaway 3 is up, and it's going to be off the front rim from Ryan Taylor. Rebound grabbed by Gerard Tarrant. 0 for their last 9 from 3, that being the Warriors. It's one of those two where the Warriors also struggled in the area of taking care of the ball. They had 10 turnovers in that third quarter alone, 17 so far in the game. Left angle three is good by Ferguson. The Stars lead is out to 7. It is a 37-11 run. It just continues to mount. Driving left side, Smith, alley-oop, Mawugbe, nice catch and lay-in. The other thing you can't underestimate in that third quarter, Mawugbe had 3 fouls on him that really added up to the situation with him coming out of the game. He's done a nice job screening, defending, and playing incredibly well tonight. 95-90 the score. Wilson frame with the ball right side. Now straight away it goes to Bolton. Out left, Ferguson again for 3, and that's short. He's already put up 3 3-pointers in this quarter. And boy, when he gets it and he has an extra open amount of space, he's going to hoist it up. Here's a 3 on the way, no good from Ledoux. And the rebound to Mawugbe. Mawugbe, beautiful cut by Ledoux. Mawugbe finds him, and Ledoux misses the layup. Tapped around the rim on the back and the front and fell off. Wilson frame comes the other way. He lobs underneath, and Bolden with a 2-hand jam. Stars up 97-90 for Bolden. It is a 13-point, 11-rebound night for the Stars. A 7-point lead with 9:45 left to play. Into the right corner, Smith, guarded by Tarrant, rotates towards the top. Now gets the screen from Mawugbe. Now the switch happens. Bolden is guarding Smith. Smith throws across the court, goes to Taylor. He's out of time. He didn't know it. Shot clock violation. Stars get the ball. Another Warriors turnover. Nine and a half to go here in this fourth quarter, and for the Warriors just trying to find a way to regroup. Everything was going their way in that first half. They were so well connected. They had 23 assists on 27 made buckets. They've struggled since then to string together quality plays. Bolden, straight away, high out right now, goes to Miles. Sets the screen for Miles. Miles backs it up. Throws now to the left side. Wilson frame with the clock winding down. A 3. It clangs off the corner of the backboard, then the front of the rim, no good. Ledoux will bring it up the other end. Ledoux now out to Ferrari by the timeline. Ferrari with 13 on the shot. Now hands off, between the legs dribble. Driving into the right side, a foul is going to be called. As on the drive was Smith, and Bolden was called for the foul. Pashawn Howard will come in, Edwards will come in. Wilson frame to come out. Smith to inbound, gets it to Ferrari, now back to Smith. Smith takes a screen from Mawugbe, now gets to the 15-foot line and floats it up off the rim, no good. The poor shooting has continued here in this second half for the Warriors. 97-90, Stars in the lead. Here's Howard, guarded by Ferrari. Howard crosses over, gets a screen from Bolden, now out to Miles. Miles back to Howard, shot fake at 3, now back to Miles. Coach Peavy frustrated, the play hasn't gone as well as he expected. Miles will launch a long 2, and it's going to be no good. The rebound to Mawugbe. For Mawugbe on the night, 12 rebounds, and he's made it look easy. Mawugbe a screen now for Ferrari. Ferrari a floater from the dotted line. It's going to be tapped away by Bolden. Loose ball, scramble for it, grabbed, and the Stars thought they had it, and then a foul is going to be called as it was collected by Smith. But the foul goes against Bolden. That was a bizarre play where it's almost like one of those in baseball when you see one of those seeing eye singles that just kind of keeps trickling by defenders and through defenders to eventually become a base hit. Players were moving fast, but the ball was moving slow. The Stars so far tonight have shot 43 three-pointers. Warriors to inbound, 8:09 left, and they are down by 7. Smith with the ball out by the center circle. Goes to Taylor. Taylor now back over to the right side, Ledoux. Hands it off to Ferrari. Ferrari taking a screen from Mawugbe. Pulls up, 15-footer. It's good. That's the first field goal of the game so far for Ferrari. And it's Ferrari on the night with 2 points, but does have 5 rebounds to go with 7 assists. He's played tough tonight, 97-92. Stars still on top. Much needed bucket there from the Warriors. A straightaway 3 is good from Carson Edwards. He now has 30. That's the 11th time this year he scored 30 or more. 100-92. The 8-point lead matches the biggest for the Stars on the night. An answered three-pointer on the other end is up and good from Ryan Taylor. Taylor now with 15 so far in this game. 10 assists for Smith. 100-95 the score, 7:12 left. Here comes Edwards, hoist up a straightaway. 3 hits again! Carson Edwards with 33. He is 6 of 13 from deep. And a foul on a drive here from Smith. He'll go to the line. It'll be one shot for 2 points. And in comes Wilson Frame for the Stars. Edwards with 33, Bolden with 15 points and 11 rebounds. Miles has 13, Howard with 14. At the line is Smith. He's orchestrated the offense so well, especially in that first half. 7 points, 3 rebounds, 10 assists. He was picked up by Santa Cruz in November. And his free throw dances on the rim and then comes off. And the rebound grabbed by the Stars. Carson is now number 5 in Stars all-time scoring, passing Daryl Summers. And he needs 1 to get there. Here's Smith driving into the paint right side, throws it off the rim. It's up, it's no good. Rebound is going to be grabbed by the Warriors as it was collected by Smith. He gave it to Mwugbe. Mwugbe fumbled it, and the Stars got it back. Eventually leads by 22. Couldn't miss from 3 in the first half. And in this second half so far, the Stars have been able to get the better of the Warriors as the Warriors went cold, turned the ball over a ton. Stars back up by 8. Carson Edwards tries to throw a pass. It was kicked, and then it wasn't called. Edwards gets it back, puts up a 3. He's fouled on it, and he'll shoot 1 free throw for 3 points. So Carson Edwards, 1 free throw for 3 points. As we mentioned before, Carson is now number 5 all-time in Stars history in scoring, passing Daryl Summers. Congratulations to Carson Edwards, the All-American from Purdue, who has been such a spark for this team so many times. The 3rd leading scorer in the league, puts home that free throw for 3 points. He now has 36 points. He's a perfect 4-4 from the free throw line. 6:15 left here in the fourth quarter. Stars with their biggest lead. It is 11. Ferrari with the ball high out right. Now goes straight away to Ledoux. Ledoux guarded by Edwards, back to Ferrari. Ferrari guarded by Tarrant. Jab steps. Shot clock at 6 and 5. Comes around a screen, launches a long 2. A foul is going to be called. It's away from the ball, and it's on the Stars. It's on Pashawn Howard. In the game now is going to be Eli Pemberton, as well as Evans, and Figueroa coming in as well. Ledoux sitting down, and so is Ferrari. 14 seconds on the shot clock. Comes into Pemberton, now back to Smith. Smith harassed by Edwards. Edwards got a hand on it, but Smith collects it back. Smith in the lane is going to be fouled. And this foul is going to go against the Stars. That is putting them over the foul limit. It's on Miles. So that will send Smith to the free throw line, where Smith is 1 for 3. He has 7 points and 10 assists with 4 rebounds. 1 free throw for 2 points. And things have just been tough for this Warriors team offensively in the second half. They scored 77 first half points. They have just 18 since then. Free throw is up and good for Smith. That gets the lead back down to single digits at 106-97. Stars with the ball up by 9. 5:50 left here in this third quarter. Wilson Frame with the ball high out left. Looks for the screen from Tarrant. Tarrant slips, now throws it out to the other side to Pashawn Howard. Pashawn Howard guarded by Pemberton. Looks underneath, can't get Tarrant. Now goes out left to Wilson Frame. He rumbles the left side, floats it off the back of the handle. Offensive rebound Tarrant. He's fouled as he muscles it up. Gerard Tarrant has just done a great job with some loose balls here tonight. That was another one. He earns this trip to the line. So impressive all night long to see the toughness of the Stars. This team was getting shredded in that first half and just could not figure out how to stay connected defensively. And they've had their good and bad moments on that side much of the year. We've talked about that free throw hits about every piece of the rim and then goes in. And the officials look like they may have had a timeout for a second. They did not. 108-97. The other thing about this game tonight, as odd as it's been, there are two officials out there on the floor. Earlier tonight, Danica Mosher took some sort of hit to the head after a jump ball that took place at the free throw circle, and a loose ball is going to be out of bounds. Another turnover on the Warriors. The Warriors continue to struggle in this area. They now have 21 turnovers so far in the night. But Danica out of this game and hoping she's going to be okay. The officials have called much of the second half with just two refs out there on the floor. Stars up by 11 and matches their biggest lead of the night. They're looking for more here. Edwards comes around the screen of Miles. Edwards now gets a screen from Taryn, goes out left, stops, throws underneath for Taryn. Great pass, reverse layup is up and good. Gerard Taryn with that finish from Carson Edwards. Edwards now with 5 assists. And for Gerard Taryn, he has 12 points. And another turnover on the Warriors. It'll go back to the Stars again. 15 second half turnovers up to this point for the Warriors. 110-97 the score. Straight away, here it is, Daxter Miles. Miles comes around the screen of Taryn. Taryn has a defender pinned, and a foul is going to be called. 3-second lane violation is going to be called on Gerard Taryn. Taryn was posting up, was in the paint, thought he was going to get the ball, hung in there just a little too long. And so an offensive 3 seconds, which almost feels more rare than a defensive 3 seconds right now in the NBA and in the G League. Up the court they go. Figueroa up the left side, looking straight away and gets it to Smith. Smith throws it back to Figueroa. From the dotted line, a floater is good, and it's 110-99. 4:37 left to play. And these next 2 minutes, oh so important for the Stars to at very least break even here, as they hold an 11-point lead. 4:28 left to play. Edwards drives hard in, left side, puts it off the glass and rim, no good. Rebound tapped, and it's grabbed by the Warriors. Up the court quickly is Evans. Left side it goes to Ledoux. Now back out. Figueroa, a good look three, and it's no good. Rebound Pemberton back up. But defensively, they turned it up to a level we really haven't seen for a lot of this year. Showed what they were capable of. Rallied back from 22 down and lead by 9. Have led by as many as 13. Wilson Frame taking a screen right side from Bolden. Throws now back straight away to Rice. Underneath it goes for Bolden. He's doubled. He barrels into a defender. Travel's going to be called. He was leaning, so he's trying to create an offensive opportunity. Turnover on the Stars. That is just the 6th turnover by Salt Lake City tonight. 22 of them for Santa Cruz. That has told much of the story in the second half. After Santa Cruz was so red hot in the first half from 3, they are just 1 of their last 12 from deep. Smith, between the legs dribble, drives right side, now goes inside to Figueroa. He floats it in from a short distance and scores. The lead is down to 7. It's 110-103. Carson Edwards slowly bringing the ball up the court. 3:35 left to play in regulation. Stars by 7. Edwards bumps into Ledoux. Ledoux cuts him off. Crossover to the right side. Here goes Edwards. Throws across the river into the corner. A 3 on the way is no good from Wilson Frame. Offensive rebound. Bolden puts it off the back rim. No good. Rebound comes down. Smith speeds it up the court. Bounce pass to a running, dunking Jacob Evans III, and it's 110-105. They've cut it down to 5. It's an 8-0 run. The Stars are having to regrip here as they were up by 13, now just up by 5 points. Here's Wilson Frame, another sluggish possession here with the shot clock down to 4, 3, and 2. Into the right corner it goes. Rice, a step back 3. It's short off the rim, no good, and the rebound is grabbed by the Warriors. Up the court, Ledoux. Left side to Pemberton. Into the corner it goes Smith. Smith going across the paint, throws back outside. Figueroa, shot fake a 3, drive hard, left side, floats it up over Bolden, back handle no good. Rebound is grabbed by Tarkus Ferguson. That is a huge stop for the Stars as they were having a tough time slowing down this momentum. 110-105 the score now. 2:25 left to play here in regulation. Shot clock down to 8, 7, and 6. Edwards comes around the screen to Ferguson. Now double comes, and is it stripped and taken away? No, he gets it back, drives it in hard right side, clangs it around the rim and in. Great play, Carson Edwards. Edwards now with 38 points. The Stars back up by 7, a much-needed bucket. Smith drives in, and Edwards was looking to poke it away to steal. Edwards with the foul. That is actually, if you're going to foul, a good timing for it. It's before the 2-minute mark, or excuse me, they're over the foul limit, so no, it's not a good foul. I was looking at the wrong foul count, my apologies. So that will send Smith to the free throw line. And Smith is a terrific free throw shooter. But just 2 for 4 tonight, after being 86% so far on the year. 1 free throw for 2 points for Smith. Smith with 9 points and 10 assists on the night. Now give him 11 points and, 13 assists on the night to go with 5 rebounds. He's been busy and the work is still left to be done. 2 minutes left to play in regulation. Wilson Frame with the ball out by the center circle. Bounces out left side to Rice. Rice looking for a curling Edwards. Has it, catches, shoots a 3. It's just long. Rebound down to Bolden. Back out to Edwards. Edwards bounces over left side, left corner 3 on the way by Ferguson is off. And the rebound is grabbed by Mwugbe. That is the 49th three-point attempt by the Stars. Up the other side, Pemberton driving into the paint. He's fouled by Wilson Frame. He'll go to the line. It'll be 2 free throws now for Pemberton. 1:34 left to play. It is a 5-point game. Both teams with 2 timeouts, both teams with their advance. And the Star man who's taken a lot from the story of Jeremy Lin, one of the most grateful players you'll come across. He hits the first of 2 free throws now, has 18 points. He has 8 rebounds and 4 assists. He loves the story of Jeremy Lin, a guy that played with that kind of gratitude, made the most of his opportunity. Played free, played loose, was himself, learned to do those things, and he's trying to do the same thing here with the Warriors. Both free throws good, 1 possession game, 112-109. It's been a night of comebacks here, both sides, as the Warriors are trying to mount a late comeback to take this game away. 1:23 left to play here in regulation. Edwards trying to throw across, it's tapped away and stolen. Pemberton has it, goes to Ledoux. A good look 3 on the way, he hits! Ledoux ties the game at 112. Ledoux with 21 points. It's just the second 3-point make of this half after making 11 as a team in the first half. 112-112. 105 left to play here in regulation. Here comes Edwards. Floating around left side, goes to Bolden. Bolden into some traffic, forces it up, gets it to go, and the foul. It was a 15-2 run. A big bucket by Bolden. Bolden had 2 defenders on him, was harassed, went up through contact, got fouled, and made it. For Bolden on the night, 17 points and 13 rebounds. Marquise Bolden, 1 of 2 at the free throw line so far tonight. The guy who was injured and sat out so much of the year, but practiced so incredibly hard, worked so hard to get the chance to show what he could do out here. He completes the 3-point play, and we have 1 minute left to play in regulation. Smith with the ball left side. Harassed defensively and trapped, they throw it out now to the right corner. A 3 is on the way, and it runs off the rim from Evans. The rebound is grabbed by the Stars. Howard has it. Up the right side, it goes to Rice. Rice with the ball, with a double coming. Leans between them. Bounces to Wilson Frame straight away. 10 seconds on the shot, 35 left here in the game. Stars up by 3. Wilson Frame comes around to the left side. Now comes around a screen of Bolden to the right. From the middle, throws to the left side. It's going to be poked and stolen away. Up the court is Smith. Smith turns, goes back to Ledoux. Out back side, straight away to Smith. Smith drives. Underneath it goes Pemberton, who'll lay it up and in. 18.8 left to play. Stars up by 1. And they'll inbound from the baseline. They'll be able to run the baseline. 18.8 left to play here in regulation. Stars up by 1. They do have the ball. Running the baseline is Bolden. Looking, goes into Wilson Frame. Wilson Frame runs along the left sideline, throws it up high, and it's 2-4, and it's intercepted. It's picked off by Mwugbe. Right by their bench. The Warriors, they throw it in. It goes to Smith. Smith up the court with 10, 9 and 8. Gets across the timeline, top of the key now, dribbles, gets into the lane, left-hand layup. It's blocked out of bounds. It was blocked by Bolden, and they call a blocking foul on Rayvonte Rice. It'll be 2 free throws with 4.7 left to play. And the fans are furious about it. Smith jumped in. Rayvonte Rice was leaning, fading back, and twisting. The block was by Bolden. But they're saying Rice was called for the blocking foul. Smith will go to the free throw line. 3 of 5 at the stripe tonight. 11 points, 14 assists, and 5 rebounds. The crowd doing their part, hoping for a miss. He ties it, nothing but net. Kendall Smith out of Oklahoma State, an 86% free throw shooter. The Stars with their timeout and an advance. The same with the Warriors. 4.7 left to go. Nathan Peavy drawing on the whiteboard right now. Smith taking his time. The free throw is off to the right. And Wilson Frame grabbed the rebound. The picket fence, nobody guarding him at their own free throw line. They'll throw it in. It goes to Edwards with a head of steam up at the half-court line. Down to 2, down to 1. He'll launch one from 40 at the buzzer. It's short. It's no good. Minutes left. Both teams with a foul to give. Both teams with 2 timeouts and their reset timeout. Wilson Frame with the ball. Drives right side. Goes into traffic. Throws it over the head of Pashawn Howard out of bounds to the Warriors. To clarify on the rule that exists, you cannot call consecutive timeouts and use one of them as your reset. That is a rule in the G League, so they were not able to advance the ball. That being the Stars on their final regulation possession. Here's the first overtime possession for the Warriors. Coming along the right side, Smith throws high, but it's going to be caught in the corner by Pemberton. He's fouled by Rice, and that will be their 1 foul to give. 1:33 left here in overtime. The Stars gave up 77 first-half points. That was their season high. They gave up 38 second-half points. That was the season low. The original one was 42. A tale of 2 halves, and Rayvonte Rice is fouled out of the game. So Rayvonte Rice, that is his 6th foul. In comes Miles Jr. Rice has been big defensively for this team, even though just 2 points and is 1 of 8 from the field. Defensively tonight, he was big, especially in those big stretches of the second half where they were able to catch some momentum. Pemberton on a catch from an inbound on a curl, tries to go underneath from Awugbe. It's deflected, knocked away by Miles, and a jump ball right there in the paint. So they're going to go to the free throw circle and jump it up. 1:28 left to play here in overtime. Shot clock is at 9. It'll be Miles going up against Evans. For Miles, 6'3". Jacob Evans, 6'6". Miles getting some instruction from the bench of the Stars. Jeff Wooten moving some people around to make sure the space is correct for the jump ball. All tossed up, and it goes to the Stars. Miles was able to get it over to Wilson Frame. Tied up, 1:15 all. Wilson Frame, out by the center circle, he's guarded by Ledoux. Goes out right side, it goes to Pashawn Howard. Howard looking to go to Bolden, who's posting up. Gets it to him, he's about 15 from the basket. Turns, squares up, double comes, throws outside to Pashawn Howard, into the paint, back out. Wilson Frame, a 3, and it clangs out. Beautifully executed play, and he just barely missed that 3-point attempt. The Stars with 50 3-point shots here tonight. Out to the right side, a nice pass inside. It goes to Smith, and Smith scores it with a weight room layup. 1:17, the score. Warriors up by 2. 49 seconds left here in overtime. Arson Edwards across the timeline. Looks to get the screen from Howard and does. High out left. Gets another screen now from Bolden. He flashes to the basket. Out to the right corner. Wilson Frame drives hard. The baseline goes up. Lays it on the rim. No good. Rebound is tapped. Knocked away. Race for it in the corner. It's won by Awugbe, who throws straight away to Smith. Smith looking along the left side. Now slows it down. 6 seconds between shot and game clock. It's at 23 and 0 over the foul limit. 23 on the game clock. 16 on the shot. In it goes to Smith. Smith is harassed defensively by Howard. Throws out to the left corner. Pemberton thought about a 3. Instead, hands all the way back out. Ledoux runs some more clock. Clock down to 5, down to 4, down to 3. Ledoux between the legs dribble. Rises, fires up a 3. Off the rim, no good. Offensive rebound is grabbed by Smith. He's chased down and fouled by Howard with 3.4 to go. A big offensive rebound by Smith. And he could put it away with 2 free throws. That is what ended up being his 7th rebound. He has 14 points and 14 assists. He didn't have the greatest shooting night. 3 of 11, 1 of 5 from 3. And from the free throw line, he's 4 of 7. But he's a great free throw shooter, and if he can hit both of these, he put it away. First one, good. One timeout for the Warriors in the advance. The Stars with 2 timeouts in the advance. But more importantly, they are needing a miss. Stars hoping for the split. Kendall Smith hoping to make it a 2-possession game. And his free throw is no good. Loose ball rebound, tap the top of the 3-point line. Wilson frame standing in the key. A couple of screens are set. Miles comes around them. Looking for Edwards. They throw it into Miles. Miles turns, fades, fires, and hoists up a prayer. It's